The next order of business is the President's report. During the past year, I've had the pleasure to make new friends and visit many longtime friends across the country. Whether it was a chapter visit, and I traveled to more than 30 chapters in over 20 states this past year, or a discussion, an email, a phone call, or the infamous Facebook posting, I continue to be amazed at the level of dedication and commitment that we share to public safety and public service. In fact, this year our board has visited almost 80 chapters across the United States, and that doesn't include staff visits. What I found in traveling across the country is that we have shared challenges in the workplace. We all have been asked to do more with less, and somehow we do just that, because what we do matters. It is not about self-importance, it's about building a safer world. The International Code Council is here to support you in your career. I think you all know that education is a priority for me, both personally and as an indispensable service to our association. During this conference, you will have several opportunities to increase your professional knowledge and demonstrate your skills, including tomorrow's educational program, today's networking luncheon, and the ability to take certification testing. As a member-focused association, we have concentrated on communications this past year. We held 3 very successful roundtables to bring together our members, stakeholders, and other technical experts to address complex issues in the construction industry. The discussions looked at the underlying causes responsible for a series of fires in residential buildings under construction, the code adoption cycle, and the examination of American households that in this day and age do not have indoor plumbing. Reports will be available soon on each of these important roundtable discussions so we can determine how to address these issues through codes, standards, and other measures within our area of expertise. The Members Forum held this morning and the growth of our membership councils are 2 other ways we are reaching out and communicating for the good of all concerned. Another example is tomorrow's town hall meeting on the future of code officials. Research done on ICC's behalf by the National Institute of Building Sciences predicts that a substantial retirement exodus of code officials is on the horizon. Nearly 85% of the respondents were over age 45. More importantly, over 80% of them expect to retire within the next 15 years, and more than 30% plan to do so within the next 5. That could have a serious impact on jurisdictions and public safety, and it is just one of the reasons why our high school technical training program is so important to help develop and encourage the code officials of tomorrow. I'd like to share a few success stories and the people behind them. Jim Elwood, a senior plans examiner with Harford County Government in Bel Air, Maryland, was inspecting a Habitat for Humanity home being constructed by students from Harford County Technical School. As construction progressed, discussions began about providing students the opportunity to learn about the I-codes. With support from instructors, a curriculum was developed using the IRC and a coordinating study companion. The initiative was presented to the Maryland Building Officials Association, whose president at the time was our own Rich Truitt. With the support from the ICC staff and the board of directors, the program was launched. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to meet with a group of students at our headquarters in Washington, D.C., where they were presented certificates from both the ICC and the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. Last year, the Maryland Building Officials Association established a scholarship fund. And this year, they awarded their first scholarship to a graduating senior who received a certificate of achievement. This is an amazing story and one that Maryland should be very proud of. Not to be outdone, the Southern Nevada chapter of ICC, through the vision of Mike Tiemann, a plans examiner from Las Vegas, funded a program at the East Career and Technical Academy. In the first year under their guidance, the carpentry instructor, 35 students passed the final exam and received a certificate in the building discipline. This past year, the chapter set aside $21,000 to fund a program in 8 schools. And I had the pleasure of visiting them earlier this year, and it's an amazing group of students and dedicated faculty and staff. The Rhode Island Building Officials Association also recognized the importance of the program and introduced students to the International Residential Code in conjunction with their construction trades training. Rhode Island is the first state in the nation to have a 100% of its technical high schools participating in ICC's high school technical training program. That's amazing. Mark St. Jean is the plans examiner and field inspector for Kent County, Delaware, and president of the state's ICC chapter. The Maryland Building Officials Association chapter, staff, and members encourage Polytech High School to get involved. The senior class was challenged to create code-compliant projects during the design process, and students constructed a scale model home that included a code-compliant spiral staircase. They also used the Spanish construcciones received from the ICC and the IRC codebook to design a code-compliant shore home with the written design in Spanish. That's just a sample of the many successes of the ICC High School Technical Training Program and how it is mentoring and attracting younger individuals to be code officials. This would not have been possible without the hard work and effort by ICC members around the country who have helped embrace the program and see the value in promoting the next generation of code professionals. I especially want to recognize Jim Elwood and Sarah Yerkes, ICC's Senior Vice President of Government Relations, who continually champions this worthwhile program. The ICC High School Technical Training Program has been in operation for 3 years. More than 40 schools across the country now participate, and an active membership has grown to nearly 800 students. Our program mentors and encourages young people to pursue careers in construction-related fields. And we want future generations to continue to build on what has been achieved to date, and to continue leading in code development and administration all across building disciplines that are addressed in codes and standards. The goal is to keep the momentum going by building on the dedication of the code officials who have worked diligently to get this program integrated into the local technical high schools. The ICC Training and Education Department has been fine-tuning the Preferred Provider Program. The program will expand the number of training topics available. It will serve as the vehicle for chapters and other providers to offer quality education programs we need to obtain and maintain our professional certifications. A stakeholder group of ICC members representing chapters, jurisdictions, associations, educators, and other industry groups has met several times. They will continue to address topics such as qualifying and assessing potential preferred providers, criteria for determining course objectives, quality and delivery methods, and on-site and online training models, along with hybrid models that allow for education sessions via Skype or similar online technology. Technology is advancing, and ICC is taking steps to ensure that we adapt and embrace the opportunities to the fullest. The Preferred Provider Program will address several goals. It will create an easily accessible network of extensive training opportunities from a variety of educational resources. It will provide access to quality training on specialty topics and building products that are beyond the current ICC core training programs. And it will offer support for educational renewal requirements of the ICC certification program. To keep current, the development of the ICC's 2015 national certification exams is underway. Paper and pencil testing will begin in January, while computer-based testing will begin in July. ICC is making some changes to the number of CEU requires to renew your certifications. For most of us, there will be either no change or the required number of CEUs will actually decrease. We also formed a new professional development council made up of a certification committee and an education committee to better align and strengthen the ICC's education and certification programs. Perhaps the most exciting development in the past year has been the hugely successful rollout of CDP Access. This week, the IGCC will become the first code completely developed using our new online platform. CDP Access is the cloud-based online code development tool exclusively for our code development process. The concept of online participation in ICC's code development process dates back to 2001, when off-site voting on code changes was used by the 3 legacy model code organizations that ultimately became the International Code Council. The message from you has been very clear. We want to participate in the code development process, but budgets are tight and time away from the office is not often possible. The board took that to heart and found a way to make it happen. CDP Access allows you to participate from your desk or from the beach, from anywhere there is internet access. Yes, there were some glitches, and that was to be expected, but you were patient and understanding, and the shortfalls were overcome. And for that, we thank you. This week, CDP Access will be used for electronic voting to set the agenda for the online governmental consensus vote, which is slated to open for voting approximately 1 week after the hearings. The combined vote tally from the public comment hearings and the online governmental consensus vote will determine the final action on each code change. Once again, our association is a leader among its peers. We looked into the future and found a way to increase participation in code development process while reducing travel and other associated costs with code development for all of its participants. The success of CDP Access could not have happened without your input, feedback, participation, and foresight to embrace new ideas. We thank you for your support and your openness to explore new ways to develop codes and create safer, sustainable, and resilient communities. This is the future of code development, and it is here to stay. We are now ready to move forward and expect nothing but great success with the Group A cycle, which will include even more enhancements. Something else we are very excited about is the new direction for the 2018 International Green Construction Code and other industry green codes and standards. Last month, the ICC, ASHRAE, AIA, IES, and USGBC announced a Memorandum of Agreement of Understanding to guide and emphasize coordination of development and delivery of the organization's respective green building codes and standards. The result will be a clearer, more adoptable, usable, enforceable, and coherent document with strong technical content and careful coordination with other commercial green building guidance tools. If your jurisdiction has adopted a green code or standard, continue to focus on implementation of the code or standard you've adopted. If you are considering adopting the IGCC or 189.1, no need to change anything in your process, but be on the lookout for updates that may be helpful to you. The IGCC will continue to be an important member of the family of I-codes administered and maintained by the ICC in collaboration with AIA, ASHRAE, IES, and the USGBC. The core technical content will be developed and maintained by ASHRAE in collaboration with AIA, ICC, IES, and the USGBC. ICC will use technical content from 189.1 as the basis for the IGCC, wrapping compliance and administrative chapters around 189 to tune the standard into an adoptable and an enforceable code. 189.1 will continue to exist, but the technical content will be embedded in and accessed via the IGCC. The new IGCC will be better coordinated to the needs of adopting jurisdictions and to the direction of leading-edge green building programs like LEED. The result of this new partnership will be a single document that will be smarter and easier to adopt. ASHRAE and its community of experts, including additional ICC stakeholders, will continue to work with the 189.1 co-sponsors to develop and maintain the technical content of Standard 189.1, and that will be incorporated into the IGCC. ICC and its experts will develop and maintain the IGCC's administration, compliance, and coordination requirements. Each organization will play to its strengths, and the result will be a better green code that meets the needs of adopting jurisdictions, green building professionals, and the people who occupy the buildings we build. The decisions made at this week's hearings will become part of the 2015 edition of the IGCC. The 2015 edition of the IGC will provide materials for the 189.1 committee to consider as part of the technical revisions of the new 189.1 and subsequent editions of the IGCC. I am by no means taking any credit for the many accomplishments that have taken place during my term as president. It has truly been a team effort all the way. I thank you, our members, for being a part of this great association. I thank our founding strategic partners for their commitment, help, and friendship. and I thank our supporting and participating organizations to whom we owe gratitude for backing the ICC. I thank Dominic Sims and the rest of the ICC staff for their countless, dedicated hours trying to keep me out of trouble, no doubt a Herculean task. And finally, I thank my fellow board members for their enduring, never-ending board meetings, my failed attempt at humor. I thank all of you for your support, and this is what has made us successful during my term as president. A renewed interest in working together for the good of all. You should be proud of what we have accomplished. I thank you for the opportunity to serve as your president of the International Code Council. Thank you. Thank you. We have a luncheon to get to, so we got to do some business.